January 7th of 2021. And like so many others, I was watching what was happening at the Capitol yesterday and a little concerned about that because although I've known for a couple of weeks that there were people who were going to attend the Capitol, and the whole reason they were going was to show their patriotism and to stand up for the Constitution. And so what I certainly wasn't prepared for was that there were some people who attended the Capitol event who were there for nefarious purposes and unfortunately ruined it for everyone. So I tuned in this morning and asked the Guardians for their impression that helped me to understand what is presently happening on the planet. And I say that because anything that happens in America affects everything that happens in the world. So I want to know what's next. What do we have to look forward to? What's the plan? What's next? So I'm going to go ahead and read the message that came in. One of the things that I'm often reminded of is that I get to see the Guardians in what I call the spiritual situation room. And it's this big room, like you would imagine, it's like the war room, where they're standing around and they're looking at the playing field, which is Earth and all the different parts, like a very complicated and complex chess game. And depending on the move that the other team makes determines the move that the Guardians make. Now, the Guardians of Light are here to counteract and counterbalance what I've known as the Legions of Darkness, the Dark Overlord and his minions. So what we have playing out on the physical ground is also playing out interdimensionally in our time-space field. So we have these guardians and benevolent ETs that are assisting us outside of the field that we can presently see. So that's who I tune into to ask them from their perspective, what is it's happening on the ground so that we know what to look for moving forward. So I get to see things from their perspective, and that is the message that I am going to now read to all of you. And then at the end of the message, I'm going to go ahead and put in my input because I did get some visuals that came in with this message that I can't really explain while I'm reading the message to you. So at the end, I'll explain to you what it is I was seeing. So here goes. Good morning, dear one. We are those you have called upon for answers in this trepidatious time. We are Archangel Michael, Lord Ezekiel, Archangel Gabriel, and Saint Germain at your service. Yes, your 4 horsemen as you know us to be. 4 caballeros, 4 cowboys, here to wrangle things up and set things straight. Now you ask about Donald J. Trump and Joe Biden, who they are and the roles they will be playing moving forward. You ask about the timelines and how they will look in this split universe, the 2-Earth split as you have come to call it. There are 2 different realities being created as you have known for some time, one in which love and light win out over fear and darkness, and one in which darkness is allowed to play out its game. Much akin to a video game, some people can jump to the next level, while a lower level continues to play out. Just because one level exists does not mean the other level does not. A time-space jump allows some people to play the newly created level. They coexist on the same game platform. You may see other players but not interact with them. They may not see you. Such is the case with dimensions. Higher dimensions can see lower dimensions and interact at choice, but lower dimensions cannot see and interact into higher dimensions. The 4th dimension is the bridge between the 2 worlds. That is where much of humanity is right now, in the mist, in the midst of the veil. That is also part of the 4th dimension. The other side of the veil, the bridge, is heaven on earth. Very few are ready for that, as most are still only partially awake and not equipped with the tools for letting go of old beliefs and past traumas. This is precisely why the light workers and healers woke up first, to help the mass awakening transition out of the third dimension, through the fourth dimension, where the darkness is exposed and worked through, and into the fifth dimension of infinite love and understanding, a place of peace and prosperity for all. Many may never make it past the veil and over the bridge, as it is far too much of a stretch, and the work to process old beliefs too much work. The more who do, the more they will show the way for others, as they reach into the old world and help others across. Yes, for a time, the transition time, both worlds will coexist, just as they have for you, dear one, for a while. As you watch what is happening around you as the breakthrough, in the old world they will see the breakdown. The differences in reality will become more obvious as they begin to split off from each other. Watch and see. It will begin to become all the more obvious to you as the process continues. And yes, everyone will be given a conscious choice as the storm of exposing the fear-based game continues. Now, for Trump. He is the one we put into place to begin the exposing process. He is not the master many see him to be. Neither is he master creator, nor is he master manipulator. He is a human being put into place to begin the exposure process and the collapse of the old fear-based structures. He is not one man at the helm, but rather part of a team. As we have said before, he will stay at the helm for as long as is needed to get the work done his soul set out to do through him. He is not a master communicator. Rather, his expertise is and will continue to be bringing teams of people together to get the work done that needs to get done. There are, as you know, 2 weeks left in the presidency. He will not remain for a second term, at least not in the usual way. Remember, America is facing its midlife crisis and is being restructured. Biden will be inaugurated, but his inauguration will fail, will be falsified. The entire crew will be rounded up. Also, Trump will not be inaugurated. We will take over and put into place the interim plan until the new America is created and begin to lead the way for the rest of the world to recreate itself. The military will take control, and neither man nor his team will prevail. The people will. Both realities will see this. However, how it is perceived will be the difference. Some will choose to follow the dark agenda as their comfort zone. Most will take to the bridge where they will see beyond the veil into infinite possibilities. And leaders will move fully into the light side and prepare the way for others to follow. This, again, is what they embodied for. So what I was seeing when I was communicating with these 4 beings is that they were on horses and they were dressed as cowboys and they had lassos and they were coming to round up all of the corrupted players and clean up the corruption, which I thought was kind of a fun image. And they were also being assisted with a legion of angels. The other thing that I saw was that during the inauguration, that is when many of these people will be rounded up. I was actually seeing the military interrupt the inauguration process, that the process will be interrupted and pretty much everybody who's of any importance will be at the inauguration, and that the military would be rounding people up live on camera in front of the world, and that for the whole world to see. And that certainly would be the first arrest. That would be a wake-up call to the whole entire world. Now, what also was being reminded of a message that I received about a year ago, that there would come a point when the media would have no choice but to tell the truth. So maybe this is that point when nothing can be denied because it's all out there in the open. Now, it's possible that that will not happen that way, of course, because the way that they game is played out is determined by the choices that are made by everyone in that process. So like I was saying in the beginning of this message, is that in this spiritual situation room, it's like a very complex game of chess. So the way that this is all played out depends on the choices that are made in that process. The Guardians have made every attempt to be able to see in advance what all of the possible choices are that human beings are making. But free will choice is the prime directive on our planet. So we make our choices, and then the Guardians work with what our choices are and then help to guide us in the way that is best for us, but not everybody's listening. So it is possible that it will play out completely differently. However, I do see that all of our systems are going to be restructured. There are those of us who have known that for years. We've known for at least, well, when I had my awakening 10 years ago, I've known for at least 10 years that there was going to be a mass awakening, and that was what the light workers were being prepared for, to be able to help other people process through it. That's why their gifts, their spiritual gifts and healing gifts were awakened before everybody else, so that they could help with that process. And that also all of our systems were going to be collapsing so that we can create them in a way that serves humanity rather than the people at the top. The important thing is that however this occurs is that we all stay focused on it being what is best for humanity and get our egos out of check. It's not what we think we want. It's not what our ego wants. It's about what's best for humanity. So make sure that we all hold our vision that what is best is what occurs. Now, I was also seeing that one of the possibilities is that Trump will be reinstated in March. Not necessarily as president, because that's part of the system that is collapsing and that the military is going to be in control of, but that he will be instated as more of a central leader, kind of like a keystone, a key person in the reconstruction of not only our own system, but systems across the planet, so that we all work in interdependence with each other rather than all under the umbrella of one global system. I was also told a couple of months ago that when the time comes for him to step down and for new leadership to be put in place, that he will gratefully step down and hand over the reins essentially to someone else who is more equipped to navigate this new reality that we're creating and these new systems that are being created. I do know that the new systems that we are creating do not look like the patriarchal pyramid we've seen in the past. That time is over. In this new love-based reality we're creating, all of the systems are actually going to create it in balance, that we all are a part of this, the creation of this new world. So I'm putting that out forth and forward to everyone watching this video, because we are here knowing that we're creating a new world, and each of us gets to play a part in what that looks like. So if you're feeling called to be part of recreating any one of the systems, then start getting together and having conversations with other people about what we want those systems to look like. Because the new Earth plan, we get to create. The new world agenda, they've already written that sucker out. We get to take the idea of a 2030 New Earth plan, and we get to create that, all of us, not just the people who are running the show. So that is the end of today's message. I hope you find it helpful, and I hope that you find some hope in that, because the next couple of weeks are going to be really rocky. And if the military shows up and starts running the show and arresting people, at least you have an idea of what we have to look forward to beyond that. And just trust that light will win and love will win, and that humanity will once again have its freedom, and we will once again be returned to the garden that we were once separated from. And don't forget to stop by my official website at victoriareynolds.com to pick up your free gift, and check out all the other goodies that I have there for you. Until next time, get bold, be fearless, and live free.